Brexit border plan. Kent MPs urgent radical reforms to make UK a world leader. Charlie Elphicke, who has written a number of articles aimed at outlining his views on the UK leaving the EU, has used his latest paper to call on the government to make a new department that will focus purely on dealing with border security. Serious concerns have been raised about how the UK will secure its border once it leaves the trade bloc in 2019, after it was announced staff shortages could lead to volunteers filling in the gap and a loss in the amount of tax raised from customs due to less stringent checks. Mr. Elphicke said, border checks are currently done on 12 million visitors to the UK. The end of EU free movement is expected to increase this number by 25.5 million to total some 37.5 million visitors. Customs declarations are currently made by 141,000 traders. This is expected to rise by 180,000 to a total of 320,000 traders. Meanwhile, it is expected that the number of customs declarations would go from 60 million a year to over 300 million. At present, as much as 99% of traffic coming through ports such as Dover relates to trade with the EU and currently do not require customs checks. HMRC has stated that it requires up to 5,000 additional staff by March 2019 to deal with Brexit changes to the border, but the Home Office has only pledged an extra 300 staff within the time frame. However, the MP believes his single government department solution could increase border security, cut tax fraud, slash bureaucracy, boost the economy and save British business over £2 billion a year. He said, a single department, the Department for Security and Border Taxes, would assume responsibilities that are currently scattered among 38 different arms of government and 57 separate systems. These 38 organizations report to a wide array of different departments and secretaries of state such as the Home Office, Treasury and DFRA. This inevitably leads to confusion, muddle and duplication of effort. Mr. Elphicke has said that he believes activating his plan will not only solve the UK's biggest Brexit headache but also lead to an increase in money coming into the country. In a stark warning to the government, the former Conservative whip said there was an urgent need to invest, modernize and streamline government activities to make the UK as ready not just for Brexit but also to remain competitive against other countries around the world. He added, estimates in recent years by the National Audit Office have put the cost of fraud at the border as high as £1 billion. By cracking down on tax fraud, we can collect more cash to spend on public services. And we could use some of this extra cash to invest in more officers to keep our borders safer and more secure, including stepping up security at known weak spots like small ports and airfields. In its current state, the UK's borders would come under intense pressure after the divorce. A report released last November by the Home Affairs Select Committee called for urgent action from HMRC and the Home Office in order to ensure the UK's borders are not jeopardized post-Brexit. The Select Committee stated, "We find these plans for such a small increase in border staff completely unconvincing, particularly given the current uncertainty and the need for contingency planning." The Home Office has admitted it has plans in place to use the army as a last resort as a temporary measure when the UK leaves the EU. But, the Kent MP has condemned such plans as being ill thought through. He said, "Too often it seems as though the border is seen as a problem to be patched up rather than an asset to be fully modernized. Investing now in the latest technology and highly skilled staff, we can become a world leader in border operations, and give a multi-billion-pound boost to Britain."